Okay, so this is my Sunday afternoon topic. Even though it's like 100 and something degrees outside, I'm turning off the air conditioner because I'm starting to feel cold again. I only can run it a little tiny-ish bit because I'm like, oh, I'll stay free up. So there's lots of things going on. I took some amazing, well, kind of sad, not good actually. I took some pictures of the clouds in the sky that were so reddish. And the reason they were so red is because there's a fire in our local mountains and it's tinging the sunlight in the early morning hours. Well, I didn't go out so much today because it's very smoky outside. It's just not very pleasant at all. It's very smoky. And there's just been some changes in my life again. So I believe in continuity, consistency, and loyalty in all things. But I've had to make some changes again just because, well, first off, I've wanted, I guess, other people just when they want to just focus on themselves and know that their life can be stress free, they just do it. They just, they go for the gusto, right? But I was settled for a very long time. Well, taking care of a younger sibling, really. Who just has some issues, and I did everything for this person. Like, I mean, I've done more than anybody would ever do for somebody else. I've done everything humanly possible for this person to the point where, I just want to be like a single because I am a single person that's just responsible for myself. But for years, like I did everything for them, and I kicked them out 3 years ago, and it was supposed to stick, but they came back just because my parents don't want to take care of them. My parents refuse to, and I know a lot of people think, um, oh, like once a child's 18, that adults are no longer responsible for them. But this is like one of the problems I have with like all these Nepo baby accounts and things like that, like people that are pushing, like having lots of kids, because it's weird. Like, even if you have more than one kid, if you're not like willing to do everything and anything for that child for the rest of their life past the age of 18, you have no business having children. And I know some people are like, but that's not fair. I want to have a child. And I can't help but think, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, don't have any kids. I'm not like that. But I start to feel like these Nepo baby people, like I feel like they treat children more as an accessory, and just people even my age, like, thank you, like people even my age, like who grew up in the 80s and 90s, like just that had multiple children, and now they have an adult child and the parent doesn't want to do things for them. Like, I'm not a fan of it. But my younger sibling is very problematic, and I'm left alone to deal with it because for the longest time I was told, oh, because you don't have kids and because you're a caring person, you will deal with it. And basically just put me through years of heartache. She did. I mean, it was self-selected in a way, but I like I said, I kicked her out 3 years ago, and she was homeless. Okay, back, it's been almost 3 years, a year actually, since I took her back, and it was just very unpleasant. The whole experience was super unpleasant of her living with me. You're funny. I think I left my wallet on your nightstand last night. I don't even know who you are, and I don't own a nightstand, so that's theoretically impossible. You're funny. Is this like a comedy account? Okay. So, anyhow. Mr. Comedy. Anyway, so what I was going to say was just with having this younger sibling that I was taking care of, recently I had to kick her out again and once and for all because she loves, she has a form of schizophrenia where she was fighting with my neighbors. And I tried to get my parents to take her back and they won't because she fights with their neighbors. And I don't know. It's a long sad thing. And I asked her to go get help, and she won't. And I can't be sad about it anymore, because the thing is, I've just wanted to have like control over my life, and I just want to be happy, because I'm like a peaceful person that keeps to myself. I mean, I know I do YouTube videos, but in general, I don't go around and get like I don't go around and get mixed up in what other people are doing. I'll say hi to people, but I really keep to myself. And the way that her schizophrenia manifested is, yes, she has like delusions, and she believes things that are happening or not, that are not really happening, but also she's kind of like a very fighting, combative person, where she would get mad at people walking by. And this was getting to be a problem. She was poking her head out the window and saying bad things. Like, I'd be gone during the day, and she's just saying bad things to everybody that was walking by, like 2 or 3 people. So I got to the point that my apartment complex said that I was going to be in violation of my lease unless she left. And it was that bad. So I told her, you need to go to your parents' house. And I sent her there, and they won't keep her. And, you know, I feel kind of sad about it. I do. But she needs to get help. And I've told her this. And she says that she's fine. So I don't know. Today I'm feeling less sad, though, just because I've wanted her to get better for years. But I just think about how she's compromised. Like, everybody likes black men, dear. They're very sexy. But this is not, like, I don't date people I don't know on the internet. But I think there's a lot of cute African American guys, of course. But anyhow, I just think, don't ever take care of like a family member or a sibling beyond a certain point if they're the type of person that is going to degrade like your personal happiness. In fact, I'm sure you're very attractive, dear, but I don't know you, and I'm not really looking, like, I don't just go online to meet people like that. Like, if I know somebody in real life for a long period of time, then I might date them, but I'm not like seeking out to date people that I don't know. But anyway, so what was I gonna say? So I would suggest, if you have a family member that just is refusing to improve their life, and they just want to like go down this path that brings them no good, okay, and their actions like impact you. Like, this is one thing I really hate. Like, as a person that loves consistency, as a person that loves peace in my life, one thing I never liked about her behavior was that I told her she can't be bad, and I told her she couldn't talk to the neighbors, and I told her she had to abide by that. But then I found out when I left the house that even though she's schizophrenic, she just couldn't control herself. Like, she had to say bad things to people walking by. And to me, it was really scary, because I guess she said something so bad to this one lady and their child that she just sat there and acted like she didn't do anything wrong. And this lady was trying to beat down my door. This kind of freaks me out. This freaks me out. She's trying to beat down my door, like, to get to her. And then she just sat there. And then when I came home, like, I got, I don't discuss my location. So when I got home, I told her, I know, I'm gonna move this so I can do some more cleaning. I told her, I said, I know what you've been doing. And I said, I know what you did. Like, I told her, I know what you've been doing. I know what you did because the apartment complex told me about it. And she pretended like, oh no, I didn't do anything bad. I was a good egg. And I'm like, no, we know. Like, we know what you were doing. Like, you can't pretend that I don't know what you were doing, because I definitely know what you were doing. Like, you can't lie about this. And she's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was so good. And I'm like, no, you weren't good. I told her straight up, I said, I know, like, I know that you haven't been acting, that you haven't been behaving. Like, I told her this. Like, she's like, oh, I'm so well behaved. I never do anything wrong. And I'm like, really? And this is the thing that just, it makes me, thanks. You are very nice. So anyhow, what was I gonna say? Just like, oh my gosh, like, lady, Kara, I know what you did, and I know how you've been behaving when I'm not home. And she's telling me, oh no, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. Well, I had to make her leave. And instead of her going to get help, she's choosing, I don't know, to live on to be home. I don't know what she's doing really, but she needs to go get help. But anyway, long story short, I don't think I ever should have taken her back last September because it compromised my own happiness, you know? That's all. It just made me unhappy because, like, I had to deal with all of her bad behavior. And sometimes she might be good and she might be like, oh, look, I cleaned the house. And I'm like, yeah, but you also fought with the neighbors today. And I don't really need to deal with somebody that wants to do things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was just such a wild ride with her. But long story short, I never should have taken her back. So if you ever have a family member who doesn't really want to better themselves and they always just seem to be having issues and on hard times, and their own parents who if it's your parents and they're your sibling, your parents don't want to do anything to help them, you're not under any obligation to help another sibling. You're just not, because yeah, that was another thing too. My mom sent me a text like at 4:30 on Saturday morning telling me, well, you know what the solution could be is you guys could move and I'll help you move. I know you said you wanted me to help with because she's my child, but I'll help you move as long as you take care of her for the rest of your life. And I finally told her, no, never again. Like, how many times have I taken her back? How many times have I had her in my life, like, doing these things ever since like 2020, like the panini, like her mental health issues have just gotten worse and worse and worse. And that's why I kicked her out in 2021. And I was so happy for like 2 years. And taking her back was like the worst decision I ever made. And I won't ever take her back again. I was at the point that I was about to kick her out before this happened, actually, just because she's making no, like, effort to improve her life. She's basically just here all the time, and she would just not contribute anything. She never tried to get a job, keep a job, but yet she was spending hours of her day fighting with people that she doesn't even know because they would walk by. And I don't care what your mental health issue is, and I have a lot of empathy and compassion for people. But where I draw the line is, I don't care if you have a mental health condition. Being mean to people is not it. Because there's a lot of people that have mental health issues and they're not out there like harassing the general public. Because I feel like at this point, it's just being mean. And some of it is a mental health issue, but some of it's just that she has no boundaries. So yeah, she can figure out her own life. She told me she didn't need help. I told her, you need to go to the hospital. You need to get help. Oh, no, I'm fine. And I said, okay, well, stop coming by and asking for your lotion and your bag and every little thing. And she can't come back. So that's been my fun story. Like, yay, for me. It's so fun, you know, to deal with that. But, you know, I've decided going forward, I'm not going to stress about it anymore because she's made all these bad decisions on her own. She actually was living with my parents for 2 years. I made them take her back between 2021 and 2023, but the reason they kicked her out again was because she was fighting with their neighbors. And there's not even that many people in the mountains. And she would have to literally walk like 400 feet to the nearest house to go scream at them and say profane things to them. And I'm like, Hi, how you doing? It's just crazy. I'm like, really, lady? I don't know. I just really want her to improve her life. But going forward, I feel happier because I'm not going to spend the rest of my life worrying about a person who, I don't know, they don't want to improve their life in any way that could be meaningful. And sometimes you just have to cut ties. And I think I made a really good choice to finally, well, I had to at this point because if I didn't get rid of her, I could have been evicted. And that's not something that I want to do, and that's weird. Anybody that would argue with the neighbors and cause fights and havoc, I just don't get it. Like I really don't understand. Like that was how you had to use your time, and I would always tell her that, and she would just sit there catatonically. Not make a sound. I did laundry today. She'd say, "Oh, you did." I cleaned the floor. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice," but there were a lot of things you didn't clean that you should have cleaned. I'm here, but this is like a cleaning, organizing video, so I'm moving around. So yeah. But anyway, going forward, it gives me more freedom to just like get back to living my life because I feel like I haven't had as much time just with some of her bad habits, bad behavior, things that she's been doing the last couple of years. I haven't had as much time to just enjoy my life the way I would have liked to, you know? Some things away too because yeah, I just realized how much space was being taken up with things that I don't know, like with her being here, like she just took over so many spaces. And that's another thing, like I was really happy a year ago when she wasn't here because I just was able to concentrate on doing things I wanted to do. I eat relatively healthy, but I think I ate like I still eat healthy. I always eat healthy, but I feel like I just ate better in general. Like she just, I don't know. She didn't improve my life in any way. Like I just, and the funny thing is, my parents didn't even want her there, and your own parents. So this is why I find the whole like the thing that's making a trending theme again is that whole Nepo baby, like all these people that like think people should just have kids and having kids is a woman's higher purpose. No, I think a woman should have kids if she wants to and she's financially responsible and has support. Because if come the age of 18, the dad of that child or the mom of that child doesn't want to help with an adult child that has issues or at whatever phase in life. I just don't understand why you have kids. Did you have kids to make them like an accessory? An accessory to your lifestyle? Because I think a lot of people, they think a child is an accessory. Like it's just this wind-up toy that they feel like, oh wow, look at me, I have this child. And I'm like, okay, so you have a child, but and that's another thing about some of the Nepo babies, people that are these Nepo babies, they talk about having kids with high IQs. They talk about having, and her IQ, it was pretty good. I'm not saying she's a genius, but she's not dumb. In fact, that's been one of the problems with her diagnosis is a lot of mental health providers. And sometimes, yes, there's issues where we have to get law enforcement involved because of bad things she did fighting with people. Like a few years ago, she kept fighting with people in our apartment complex. And the police got called a few times, but they were kind of confused because she's not like the typical schizophrenic who like when they're confronted with something, she would like kind of articulate herself in such a way that they'd be like, oh, she just kind of has some issues, but she's fine. In fact, like it was so weird. It was so weird. But anyway, like I felt like, I don't know. It was just, it was, it was weird. It was a weird situation. But it is what it is. I never would want to wish this on anybody. So all these people that talk about having lots of kids and how it's a woman's duty to have like 8 children or something, really? Have you thought about the consequences of that? Like when all 8 of those children are in their 30s and 40s and 2 or 3 of them, because this can't happen, are struggling in life. Like, are you going to support those children? Those ones who talk about having that perfect Nepo baby, are they going to do that? Probably not. Because that child was an accessory to their lifestyle to show, like, how devout they were in this and that. And there are people that truly care about their children. Yeah, I am, but I'm not looking to date people on the internet once again. It's not my motive in life right now. But anyhow, that's just my story. Don't ever take in a sibling who doesn't want to better themselves. And you're not being mean-spirited, because it just drains you financially, emotionally. And I have always been the kind of person where I would do everything for this person, but I realized like the last, I don't know, 15 years I've been running around, and more progressively so the last 5. But, you know, she was always very destructive. Like, she broke a laptop. She broke a $400 camera. She cost me a lot of money because she needed this thing and that. Didn't bring in any money. No, didn't help, didn't contribute in any way financially. She just kind of drained me a lot. But, you know, it was my choice to keep her all those years. And even before she got really bad, she used to act like she controlled everything. Like, I was never allowed to bring people as guests to the house. Even, this was down to having, like, cable repair people come and have people repair. Like, I used to put off getting things repaired. Dear, I don't talk about, like, personal stuff like that. Like, I think black men are attractive, but, like, I try to keep my channel, like, PG friendly, because I don't think that younger viewers need to know about these kinds of discussions, because that's not what my channel's about. My channel's about, like, happiness and healthiness, and I promote, like, keeping things nice and in a PG way. And there's nothing about my discussion that makes people think, like, I'm just not, I want a good dialogue on my channel. I don't want people to feel like they can't watch because somebody is posting stuff like that, okay? Please don't. Because I said, you know, I'm not really talking about dating. I wouldn't date people on the internet, but I'm leaving it at that. So, yeah. Please be cognizant of the fact that YouTube is a community with younger viewers, and I don't think that younger people want to come on here and read things about people talking about that sort of stuff, like, because that's just not something I would want to post myself. Just be cognizant, you know? Anyway, going forward. Yeah, she kind of drained me a little bit. But I've decided as of today she's going to have to find her own way in life, because she's just not a happy camper. And I don't think there's a better future for her. I think she's made the choice that she likes this life of just anxiousness and not knowing what she's going to do with her life. You know, and it's sad, but she made these choices, like, a long time ago, that she wanted to live like some kind of crazy lifestyle where she would just do whatever she wanted that popped in her head. And I'm like, oh wait, fun. Fun for me. Not so much. I don't find it fun. Like, and that's why I told my mom, yes, I can never have her live with me again. Because I can't predict what she does. And if I can't predict what you do and you're the kind of person that loves to, I don't know, argue with people or just refusing to get help, and I would tell her these things are not really happening. This didn't happen, but she insisted, oh my gosh, this happened. And I insisted that she get help. But she refused to get help on multiple occasions when I told her, you need to get help. So at least I'm done. I'm done with her bad behavior. I'm done with all that shenanigans. I don't need that in my life. Like, honestly, nobody wants to deal with a person that can't handle themselves in various situations. It's been a thing, a very dramatic thing. Nobody else would have taken it back. That's what I realized. Nobody else would have taken her back. And I did, and I don't know why. I never should have, but it's over. So I want to keep organizing this table. I have more things I kind of need to organize and just, I don't know, declutter, whatnot. That's my whole goal, is I'm going to kind of declutter this house a bit. I plan on doing that. Just get things a little bit more. I am nice. So being a nice person means that you respect, like, creating a healthy environment for young people on YouTube. So if I say don't post certain kinds of comments, then you should think about where. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and remove your comment because you're just not being nice yourself. There we go. Bye. You're not being nice. Like I said, you're not respecting YouTube, like TSA. And there's rules on YouTube. You can't just post anything you want. I'm nicer than you are. Anyway, I'm too nice, and that we also have to have boundaries. That's another part of being nice. Learn to have a boundary line. You can be a nice person, but there's something called boundaries where people don't just get to post whatever they want to be rude, you know? Just saying that I feel like people should be respectful, and YouTube's for people of all ages. It's not a site where you can just post things like that. Like, can we keep it like PG? Can we just talk about other topics? That's not a YouTube topic. Unless somebody had, like, if somebody had a chat saying, I'm looking to mingle and meet people and talk about, like, personal things like that. I'm talking about organizing and how to deal with a family member that can be disrespectful. I wasn't talking about any of the other stuff that people thought was, like, pertinent. So anyway, that's also kind of gaslighting too. Like, if somebody ever came to your life and said, oh, I thought you were a nice person just because you said this makes me feel uncomfortable. That would, yeah, we're not here to just cater to people that want to talk about, like, hooking up or dating. Anyway, moving on. You should always do what makes you feel comfortable as a human being. And if somebody doesn't respect that, then they're not being nice, you know? They're just not being nice. And if you're a truly nice person, you respect people's boundary lines 120%. And that tells you a lot. If somebody doesn't respect you, that tells you everything you need to know about those people. Because respect is paramount. You can't just, like, be like, yeah, I want to post any ding dong thing I like, and I think it's cool to post, like, things that are not appropriate for the YouTubes. Please don't do that. I mean, you can do it on other people's channels. I'm sure there's channels where people are cool, that sort of thing. I don't know. There's a lot of YouTube channels where people post that kind of stuff. Anyway. It's a live. Of course, we're going to get some wacky little comments ahead. Oh, the tape looks really cute on there. I look at the hat. The crafting thing. I really like that. I might stain this table eventually because I feel like it could just look better if it were stained, you know? That's sort of my feeling about it. Did put something in, I can't remember where I put a certain object. Yeah, I'll find it later. But yeah, it's the paint spinner. Like you would think I would know where I put every single object, but I just kind of went to town starting my organization and I mislocated him. This box. Receipts. Lots and lots of receipts. Okay. Okay, well, thanks for chatting. That's all you have to say, and I appreciate that. Thanks for chatting. Hope to talk with me soon. Okay, if you're on YouTube again, you're welcome to talk to me anytime you like. I think I let some of this paint sit too long because some of this paint's like a year old and I never got around to using it, and I just hope it's still good. I'm sure it's probably okay. I still can't find the spinner thing. You think I would know where I put all the objects? The one thing I just misplaced. Come on. It's so silly. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. It's just hiding in plain sight, I guess. Like, it literally, I know I took it off there. But whatever. It's the weather like outside. Smells pretty smoky out there. Oh my word. Smokey the Bear is the name of the game. It's horrible. There's a fire up in the mountains. It's pretty bad. It must be pretty late where you live, Malcolm or Marlo. Is it like 9 o'clock there? Are you going to sleepy land? Okay. Trying to find one. Oh, it's in here. I'm a silly goose. I put it on the oven when I was dusting it. I found my thing. It's the paint spinner thing. I kind of like this one right here. I think it looks nice. Got it all. Okay. Let me see. What else? What else? I don't know. Well, I know what else I need to do. I need to hang up laundry. That's the next thing I need to do. I'll get back to that table in a minute, but there's a lot of decluttering that I need to do on that table. Just so actually, I'm just gonna put the chairs back. Put the chairs back now. I need to do some laundry. So I like to hang clothing. It's one of my personal preferences. I like to hang clothing. I think I hung most everything up, I think, the other day. Don't pull over, dude. Well, I use like this wrap because it kind of just got, ugh. Don't fall over, friend. It just kind of makes it so everything's not super like visible when you're hanging it, which is really nice. And then some things I fold up. I hang up most of my clothes in the closet because that's my preference, and you can just fold it up. Okay. It's definitely my preference to just like hang most clothing. But I had some things that I had not hung up the other day. Oh, this is my clothing. Like a little bit that I'm hanging up this thing. She washed up her own. I can take it to her, but I don't want her to come back here, you know. I really don't want her to come back here. I'm trying to negotiate that. It's like, honestly, it's not that I even feel unsafe for my own health. I kind of wonder. She was starting to make me feel like personally unsafe just because of the way she acts around people. You know, just it's too much. I'm like, I don't need you to fight with people because you fight with people and you set them off. And then I'm like, I don't know. It causes great anxiety for me. But there's like parts of her I didn't understand. Like she has 6 bottles of Neosporin that she bought in the last month, and she puts it all over her hands and wears like multiple band-aids on her hands. And just as I'm going through things, like I'm finding the Equate brand of Neosporin and just tons of it, and I'm like, what? I didn't even know she had that much. And it's kind of just ridiculous. I'm like, that's just too much. You shouldn't have that much Neosporin. Nobody should. I mean, what are you doing with 6 bottles of it? I don't know. Anyway, very interesting. I have to say the least. Very, very interesting when people decide to buy and use. I think that just is kind of her thing, but I don't know. Maybe some people, I don't think you should be putting the Aspirin and Band-Aids all over your hands. I don't know. But every time I try to tell her, I'd be like, you don't need to do that. It's like it would make it worse. And she would become more obsessed with it. I don't know. But these were just certain things that I found financially wasteful. And like she'd want me to give her some money so she could go buy junk like that. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I think she did some surveys to get money. But instead of using it to buy food or something, she was using it to buy Band-Aids and Neosporin to put all over her hands. And I never understood why. I don't know. I never will. So yeah, I think being single is really cool, but just in the perspective of that you're single and that, you know, if you meet the right person, then that's great. But not like, oh my gosh, like I hate being single, or oh, being single is the only way. Like I just feel like there's gotta be some balance, that what you want is healthiness, not, oh my gosh. Like to me, I want consistency and loyalty in my life no matter what I do. And that's a requirement for me personally. It's just to have consistency, loyalty, like knowing how my life is gonna be. I know there's a lot of people like, they kind of like things to be like, they like to guess a lot and they just want to have all sorts of guesses about, I don't know, this, that, and the other thing. And for me, no. Like, I just need my life to be really quiet and really consistent and really loyal. And I just want to be surrounded by people that make good, healthy choices of every kind, you know? But anyway, so for the meantime, I think just being by myself is best. And I actually really love it. I mean, I haven't been seeing my sister as much lately. She's been kind of busy, my other sister. But that's okay too. Because I don't mind like solitude. I really don't. I love like quiet environment. It's just very, very soothing for me. Like I love it when it's quiet. I can't complain. Some people don't like that. Like some people, they're afraid of silence, I guess. But I like it. I really love it. And I guess it's what I've known for, well, 2 years ago when she first moved out, I felt like, oh my gosh, it's too quiet. But then I just got so used to it and I really loved it. And when she was here, I honestly kind of missed it. And I wasn't able to really work on my YouTube channel the way I wanted. I don't know. But this is what I was gonna say. Hanging your laundry to dry, it's just the best thing that you can do because it makes your clothes last longer and it smells so nice. Like I'm using this Arm & Hammer detergent right now. I love this dress. It's one of my faves. I also love thinner hangers because they take up less space. Although, one thing about thinner hangers you do have to be prepared for is they break a little bit more. gonna be doing a lot of decluttering. I don't even think I want to sell stuff. Like some people just want to donate and sell stuff, but a lot of stuff that people donate and sell, they don't even go to like. I mean, some of it ends up in Goodwill, but I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it doesn't. So I really want to go through my closet and just be very selective. Like I don't even want it hanging out here. I want to cull the closet of things that I'm not gonna keep. Oh no, where'd you go? I don't need a coach for anything, dear. I just need to be myself and be happy. I'm not on a softball team. I don't need a coach for anything. I'm just living my happy life. I don't need a coach for anything. You can go coach a softball team if you want. You should. Or whatever sport you like. But, once again, YouTube is for people of all ages. Be cognizant of where we're at. Anyway, I'm going to stop telling people that now because, yeah. I don't need a coach. I thought you were going to Nine Island. I mean, I don't know what you think I am. Do you think like I'm a deer that's never like walked before or something? Or like I'm a lost lamb? I'm pretty happy, dear. I don't need anything. A lot of people do different topics on live streams. I just do ones on things I like: cooking, cleaning, art, and hair. And those are my topics. I'm glad you like my hair. Thank you. See, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being nice. I mean, just keep the comments clean, guys. I'm just like, there are spicy places you can go if that's what you want. If you're looking for spice, you should go find the spicy place. Because this is not a spicy place. This is YouTube. And I actually am respectful of people of all ages. And I just like it when people are, you know? I'm from Ohio, but you told me you were local. How can I look you up if you're in Ohio? I think you were joking. Are you kind of a comedian, Marlo? I feel like you are a comedian. You're fun. You're a fun guy, though. I feel like you would be a fun person to meet. I'm sure you're a great guy, but and that's why I don't even say where my location is exactly. Well, obviously I live in Southern California, but I don't give out my exact location because I'm like, yeah. But I have to say, you know, that other comment about the person who left their wallet on my nightstand, that was pretty wild. That must have been a bot. I like comedians. I think comedian guys are funny. I love guys that have a sense of humor that are just funny, but not like, you know, ones that try too hard, but ones that are just funny. I like that. Like, I do like that. I'm just like, I can tell you have a good sense of humor. I like that, right? We all appreciate that. And if somebody doesn't, then that's their problem, right? So, I like these Tootsie Roll socks that I found at Ross. I have a lot of socks. I own like 600 pairs of socks. Well, maybe not literally, but I just have a lot of socks. But I finally opened like a package of socks that I hadn't used yet. Because I don't know, I love new socks, and I know people are like, you can keep to wash your socks, but after a while, the elasticity of the sock, it doesn't feel the same. And maybe I'm a sock snob, but I just love a new pair of socks, and I love the way a new pair of socks feels on your feet. You know, just lovely. It really does. No, don't fall, dudes. A new pair of socks just feels so nice. And after you've worn them for a while, they don't feel as nice. So, I do keep wearing my socks, but I finally gave myself permission a few years ago, like, when socks start getting stretched out, just throw them out. Like, I mean, you could clean parts of your house with that. And I've tried that. Like, I've tried cutting up, like, clothing that I don't wear anymore. In fact, instead of always donating everything to Goodwill or something, I think if a piece of clothing just looks really sad, I'm gonna throw it out. I think that's just what I'm gonna do from now on. And use it, I'll cut it up to clean the house with. I think that's better than, I don't know, trying to make everything last constantly. But yeah, I'm really excited because, like I said, I just want peace in my life. And I tried for a very long time to help people that, I don't know, they just didn't want to help themselves, and they didn't want to help me, and they didn't respect me at all, because, you know, my time and my resources and my emotional well-being, like, even if you have a mental health problem, I believe deep down people know what they're doing, and if they're doing bad stuff to create drama, then yeah, that's not cool. So anyway, I'm gonna try and work on my channel a little bit more. And yes, I do a lot of lives on my channel, just because I feel like live streaming, it's a little bit easier in a way. I just feel like you don't have to, like, I'm not saying I never like to edit a video, but I feel like with a live stream you can just kind of do it and it's in the moment, and I kind of like that. I really do like that, you know? Anyhow, those are my thoughts today. I'm going to close this thing up for now. And, you know, I'll be streaming a little bit more, I think. You only see your posts. Okay, so I guess you're the only one posting, but it doesn't mean I'm not going live. Like, there are a few other posts, but I don't know. Maybe you were chatting more in the chat box. I never claimed to have like 27 people in my chat or something, right? Just who's here is here. And yeah, so anyway, by the way, a lot of the art on my wall is my paintings and drawings from years ago, and you can see some of those early ones on my YouTube channel. And I've really been meaning to get more into artwork, and I guess just feeling kind of stressed out isn't a good reason not to have done it, but I'm glad you're interested. That's cool. So yeah, anyhow, I want to try and post more. I do feel like lives are easier to do than just edited videos, in my opinion. And that's just what I like to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and have a lovely day.